Okay, so hopefully you've already watched the 7.1 video and finished your practice. If you haven't yet, you pause this video, go back to 7.1 and do the practice for that before we move on. But in this 7.2, we're going to be looking at adding, subtracting, and scaling matrices. The first thing we're going to be looking at is adding and subtracting. And we can add and subtract these matrices only if they have the same dimensions. So we talked about the dimensions in the last video. That's the rows by the columns is the dimensions. So they have to have the same amount of rows and the same amount of columns to be able to add or subtract together. See if I can get my pen to work. Here we go. So we have to check their dimensions before we can add or subtract. So we're going to use the following matrices for these problems. A looks like I have 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. So I would say that A is a 3 by 3 matrix. For B, it looks like I've again got 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. So this would also be a 3 by 3 matrix. For C, again, we start with our rows, 1, 2, 3 rows, only the 1 column. So this would be a 3 by 1 matrix. And finally, D looks pretty similar to C. We've got 3 rows, we've got just the 1 column, and so that makes it a 3 by 1 matrix. So this is going to help us refer to these matrices and see whether or not we can actually add or subtract them. So for number 1, we should be taking A minus B. We said that A will make A blue for this problem. A is a 3 by 3 matrix. That's what we have up here. And then B will make B red in this case. We said that that is also a 3 by 3 matrix. And so since they have the same dimension, we can combine them because they both have 3 rows and 3 columns. So we're going to be subtracting these matrices, starting with A. I'm going to take all of the numbers from A and subtract the numbers from B. So kind of the first numbers in each one, the 1 and the 2 would be the first ones that I would subtract. I would take the 1 from up here in A, this first number up here in A, and then I would subtract the first number from B, that 2. So this is going to be 1 and then minus 2. And then we're just going to go through in each position. So we have 9 numbers in each of these matrices. So we're going to go through in each position. Next I would have this 2 minus the 2 from matrix B. So it would be 2 minus 2. The next one down, we'd have this 5 minus the 3 from matrix B. And so this would be 5 minus 3. Next one we have 2 minus negative 1. Remember, anytime we see a negative, it's just important to make sure we're keeping track of it. So this would be 2, and then it's going to be minus a negative 1. Then in the middle here, we'd have 3 minus the 4 from B. Then we'd have 0 minus the 6 from B. Then we'd have, going back up to the top here, this 4 minus the 3 from B. The 1 minus the 2 from B. And finally the 3, that's 3 minus the 1 from B. So we're just taking all of these terms over here and subtracting all of these terms over here. So we can go through and do the subtraction just kind of one at a time. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Oops, let me get back to the pen there. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. The 2 minus 2 would be 0. 5 minus 3 would be 2. 2 minus negative 1 would be 3. 3 minus 4 would be negative 1. 0 minus 6 would be negative 6. 4 minus 3 would be 1. 1 minus 2 would be negative 1, and 3 minus 1 would be 2. So this is the matrix that we get. This would be our answer after we subtracted these two matrices. So it's kind of a lot of different things, but all of it was as simple as just subtracting. Just taking the numbers from A and subtracting the numbers from B. So let's look at number 2. We have matrix C, which we've said is a 3 by 1 matrix. And then matrix D is also a 3 by 1 matrix. So they do match. They have the same dimensions, so they can be combined. Oops, let me make this one red. So C we have is this 4, 2, 3, and then D is the negative 2, negative 3, 4. So when we combine these matrices, so this time we're adding, I would take the 4 from C, and then I would add the negative 2 from D. And then go down the line, I would take the 2 from C and add the negative 3 from D. And finally, I would take the 3 from C and add the 4 from D. So you should be able to see we're just taking the numbers from C and we're adding the numbers from D. So we can go through and do this addition. We have 4 plus negative 2 would be 2. 2 plus negative 3 would be negative 1. And 3 plus 4 would be 7. And so this is the matrix that we get. 2, negative 1, and 7 going down in that line. Okay, next one, problem 3. We have A, which we said is a 3 by 3 matrix. And then we have D, which is a 3 by 1 matrix. So these two we actually won't be able to add together because they don't have the same number of columns. They do have the same number of rows, but they don't have the same number of columns. So they don't have the same dimensions. This means that this is not possible to add together. It's not possible, and you could say maybe because they have different dimensions. Or you could say because they have a different number of columns. That means that they have different dimensions. So that is adding and subtracting matrices. The next video will cover the bottom half of this page, which is scaling matrices.